Today we'll walk through a brief demo of the new Silicon Labs Blue Gecko Module Wireless Starter Kit. By the end of the video, you'll be familiar with the basic functionality of the kit and how to load new firmware into the module. For additional written reference material, check out the Blue Gecko Bluetooth Smart Software Getting Started Guide, which covers the same SDK and demo project. The only parts we'll need from the starter kit for this walkthrough are the main evaluation board, BGM111 module daughter board, and the mini USB cable. The module will need to be running the starter kit's default BGM111 demo example project as well. If it's not running this firmware for some reason, then it will need to be reflashed with that example project from the SDK before you can follow along. We'll cover how to do that towards the end of the walkthrough. For the smoothest experience, it's a good idea to install the latest SDK before plugging in the kit for the first time. You can download the SDK from the links shown on the Getting Started card that comes with the kit. The installation process is a simple, typical setup routine that you can complete in just a minute or two. To get started with the hardware, first make sure that the power switch is set to the AEM position and that the module daughter board is securely plugged into the header on the main board. Next, plug in the mini USB cable. You should see the blue debugger LED come on first, followed by a blinking green LED. Finally, the memory LCD will display the Silicon Labs logo and J-Link debugger IP and mode information. This demo will work with the CR2032 coin cell if you select the battery power switch setting, though without the LEDs or the ability to reflash the module. For this walkthrough, we'll keep using the AEM setting. After you plug in the cable, the debugger and a new virtual serial port will become available on the host PC. The serial port can be used for external control of the module in some circumstances, but we won't need it for this example. With the correct firmware loaded, the BGM111 module will immediately begin advertising after the module is powered on. This means that we'll be able to see it in Bluetooth Smart Scanning apps on capable devices, like an iPhone 4S or newer, or most Android devices running version 4.3 or newer. Here we'll be using an iPhone 6 and the Silicon Labs mobile app designed specifically for experimenting with the Blue Gecko starter kit running this demo. You can find more information about this app at scilabs.com/bluegeckoapp. Because the module will automatically start advertising, all we have to do now is start the app on the phone and choose the correct demo type. The default starter kit demo firmware actually provides all three of the listed functions depending on a particular GPIO pin's logic state at boot time. Specifically, if you reset the module while holding down the PB1 button on the main board, which is connected to the PF7 pin, then the firmware will boot into beacon mode. Otherwise, it will boot into the health thermometer and key fob mode. For now, we'll look at the health thermometer mode. Tap on this to bring up a list of compatible devices. Once you see the correct device, tap on the Blue Gecko BGM111 entry shown there to connect to it. After a moment, the connection should succeed, and you'll see a periodically updating temperature value. This data is being read once per second using BG script code on the module itself, communicating over I2C with the SI7021 humidity and temperature sensor on the starter kit board. The temperature value probably won't change very quickly, but you can place your fingertip on the sensor itself to visibly affect the reading. You can also tap the Add to Graph or Clear items to record or erase simple bar graph values showing the logged temperature data. Now, to test beacon functionality in the alternate boot mode, we can first tap back to return to the demo list, then tap the Retail Beacon option. While the app is searching for beacon advertisements, we'll reset the module on the starter kit while holding down the PB1 button. Be sure to hold down the button for a second or so after releasing the reset button to allow the stack to complete its boot process and properly read the logic state. A few moments after doing this, the app should show that it has identified a new Blue Gecko beacon, including whether you are in immediate, near, or far range of the beacon. Now that we've seen a quick functional overview of the demo, let's walk through a reflash process to help you get started with other examples or to put the default firmware back on the module. This can be accomplished using a couple of different methods, but the one I'll show here is a single command that both compiles and flashes using the JLink debugger port in a Windows command prompt environment. First, you can see I've navigated to the factory default BGM111 demo example project folder, where I have the Blue Gecko SDK installed. Now we'll use the bgbuild command line compiler found in the SDK's bin subfolder, along with the main BGM111 demo.bgproj definition file for compiler input. To reflash the resulting firmware image at the same time, I've also included the -f argument. You can see here that the bgbuild compiler generates a lot of output about the hardware configuration. If there are any errors in the project source files, they'll be displayed here, and the reflash step won't happen. After the compile process finishes and all OK is shown, the module reflash procedure will occur automatically since we used the -f argument. Once this finishes, it's a good idea to reset the module to ensure that the new firmware is running. You can follow this same process to compile and flash any of the examples or your own projects onto the module. Hopefully now you've obtained some familiarity with the development kit and the associated software tools for reflashing and testing. You can find additional example projects in the SDK's Examples subfolder. Be sure to check out our other videos for more Blue Gecko material. Thanks for watching.